go every year to visit her. He's an architect. He's about today that rented a house for the homeless. He always does it every year. He rented a house for the homeless in August. On Fire Island. Wow, that's nice. And he said if I want to come up, just to let him know. Fire Island's pretty nice. And he's got it for the whole month of August and so like that. He's the second week of Labor. And you should go, because Fire Island's pretty good. I've been there. I don't disagree.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to ANC 3F's August 19th meeting at Forest Hills of DC, Methodist Home's new name. Grab a pen outside if you wish. We are live streaming this on the internet at livestream.anc3f.us. It appears that we have a quorum tonight. All the commissioners except for Mary Beth Ray are here. So let's quickly introduce ourselves, starting with Manoli, working our way left.
Manoli Perniotakis, 3F05, and hi, Mom.
Hi, I'm Sally Gresham, 3F04.
Karen Perry, 3F02, Vice Chair.
Malachi Nugent, 3F06.
I'm Bob Summerskill, 3F07, and Treasurer.
All right, thank you. So we have our agenda here. We removed the resolution about solar panels at the request of Manoli. So are there any changes to this agenda or anything that you have to add to it?
No.
No? Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, that passes 6-0-0. So first up, we'll just approve the consent agenda. So on this, we have minutes from July and June that have been modified based on your comments, and Malachi's modified those. So all in favor of approving the consent agenda?
Can you split June and July?
Can I split them?
Yeah.
Do you have a comment to one of them?
On June, yeah.
All right. Does anyone have a comment on July? Okay, so we'll make a motion to approve July.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 6-0-0. We'll do the other ones later. So first up is commissioner announcements. We'll start with Manoli and work our way left, if you have anything.
So we're doing announcements and updates all at once now?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to report that the no left onto Garrison from 36th has indeed been installed, and I've gotten reports from residents of Garrison that they are seeing decreased traffic or speeding cars in the morning. So it seems to be adhered to, and pleased about that. Obviously, we were very sad to see that there was death in 3F from Nadia Seiler from Maryland, who was a collision with a truck across the street, and we continue to be in touch with the police about the background behind that.
You ready? You done? Okay. I agree about the accident. Very sad. I have multiple reports because I'm reporting for Mary Beth Ray in her absence. She wanted me to report on the Van Ness Vision Committee hosted a design charrette on Saturday, July 19th at the UDC School of Architecture. This was the second charrette hosted by the committee, was once again led by architect and renowned neighbor, I'm reversing that, Travis Price. Attending the charrette were architects, landscape architects, and other design professionals, Ward 3 OP planner Ryan Hand, representatives of UDC, Fannie Mae, Pollinger, Calvert Woodley, WAMU, and the ANC and Vision Committee members. The session led to quick drawings, numerous ideas to transform the intersection of Wyndham and Connecticut Avenue. Travis Price and his team are currently putting these ideas to work into a design and rendering that we sponsored a grant for. We hope that we will share this rendering at our next meet and greet. The next meet and greet is going to be on October 1st, Wednesday. It will be held at UDC in their very nice Windows Lounge that overlooks Connecticut Avenue. We would love volunteers for the event. because we are meeting with commercial property owners and developers, and we want to make this a big success for promoting the Van Ness corridor. So please mark your calendars and stay tuned. That's from Mary Beth. From me, I am going to report on Park Van Ness, business as usual. They have continued the demolition. That's almost done. They are doing major concrete operations. If you look at the site, if you can look at the site from above, you will see a lot of the concrete piers going in at this point, and they are doing excavations for the footings. So it's basic work. There's no traffic coming in off of Connecticut Avenue. It's all being done by crane work now. The second report is the Forest Hills Playground renovation. They are getting quite a lot done. Almost all the excavation work and work for all the retaining walls within the enclosed playground has been done. They are starting to now rough in for the plumbing and electrical. They have excavated for the basketball court, half court. That is going in the next couple of weeks. The fence is going around that. They also have started the community circle excavation. The play equipment has arrived and it's on site, and the sandbox has been formed and is ready for the next steps for doing the rocks, etc. We are looking to get the area extended at Brandywine because that is a very messy, overgrown area. We're looking into that and with them, and we're also asking for the fence to be included in this renovation if the monies are there, along with a chalkboard type element and a canopy over the picnic tables. So we're working very hard with DPR and their general counsel right at the moment.
Does Karen do any dates or
No, I don't.
announcements? I have none. Bob?
Just quickly, I had a constituent with a tax issue. I was able to refer her to Sherry Kimball of Councilmember Jack Evans' office, which has oversight of the Office of Tax and Revenue, and Sherry was able to resolve the tax issue successfully. So I'm not going to give the constituent's name since it was a tax issue.
Great, thank you. So next up we have the police report, but they are not here, probably because it's August, so I'll talk to them to come to our September meeting. Next item is the open forum. If you are in the audience and wish to speak about any topic that's not on our agenda, feel free to come up to our microphone.
Good evening, and is this on?
Yep.
Okay.
It's recording for people at home. You won't hear it here.
Oh, okay. That's a new one for me. I'm Nina Dodge, as some of you know, and I'm here for on behalf of Green Living DC and University of District of Columbia to tell you about this year's Green Living Expo that we've been doing with UDC for this is our 6th year in a row. And it's being held at UDC inside the Denard Plaza, which is the internal green roof plaza at UDC. And we're doing it on a weekday this time in conjunction with UDC's Return to College or University Barbecue. So it's on September 11th. And it'll follow and sort of be commingled with the barbecue in some couple of interesting ways. Barbecue begins at noon and goes till 4, ending with dessert, and with a lot of DJ activity and fun stuff. We will start a kids program at 3:30. With schools in the neighborhood, timed for the kids to arrive in time for dessert and maybe some fun music as well. And we will then be holding a whole number of activities for kids, both educational and entertainment, focused on environmental and sustainability issues. And then we will have some programming for adults returning from work, starting at 6 o'clock. So it's a sort of a tripartite deal. One of the special features of this year's expo will be green, and expo/barbecue will be greening the event more itself. So UDC is really committing itself to move their barbecue towards zero waste, a zero waste event. And one of the biggest aspects of that is composting and doing the triage of various kinds of waste. Training themselves and others to deal with that. And then the other thing is to limit bottled water. So we've got a partnership we've been involving with DC Water with these expos, and they'll play a bigger role this time. So those are a few things I'd like to flag for now. You have before you, I think most of you, a preliminary flyer. It's not the short version, but it will have the information you need. And we are looking for volunteers for that afternoon and evening. So anybody who's interested in it can refer to the various contacts on here or get in touch with me. I think most of you are familiar with the University of District of Columbia's College of Urban Agriculture and Sustainability, and their whiz of a dean, Sabina O'Hara. In fact, we're partnering with Causes on this event, and she's put her full weight behind it, and staff. So we're really excited about this, and we'll keep you posted. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. If you need any more copies, I've got some extras here.
I'm okay.
I have one. We can leave them on the table outside, and we'll grab them.
Anyone else in the audience wish to speak? Okay. Next up is resolution and voluntary agreement regarding a liquor license.
Adam, can I just add something?
Sure.
David has put in a plug for my contact information just to go on the record here. And again, I'm Nina Dodge, and you can reach me via the Green Living DC org website, which has has the event posted, and that's www.greenlivingdc in one word.org, and you can just post anything to my name, Nina Dodge, or any other person listed on there for the Green Living and Expo at UDC on September 11th from 12 to 8. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is resolution and voluntary agreement regarding a liquor license for Bread First and consideration of support for a stipulated license pending approval of the liquor license. So I'll turn it over to Maliki.
Okay, thank you. So what we have here, I've circulated to all of you the draft voluntary agreement and the resolution, and then also the cover letter that we would send if we approve all of this to the ABC. Thank you for clarifying who that actually goes to.
You're welcome.
So it's a pretty standard voluntary agreement. The one change that I have made to this text that you have before you is that there was a typo in the hours, the applicant's hours of operation for the Sidewalk Cafe in what I had circulated. This that you have before you now is corrected. It's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Sunday. But the hours for selling and serving alcohol at both the Sidewalk Cafe and at the bakery are the same as what I circulated before, and they conform with what is actually in the application. We had that discussion about the fact that they're going to seek to extend the hours for the outdoor cafe, and they will do that eventually, but for the recommendation, I left it like this, in voluntary agreement. What I did do, though, is I put in as a preamble clause in the resolution the fact that we support in principle the idea of extending the hours for the outdoor cafe. But then, of course, when they actually
Can you add one word to the current indoor service?
to access of the current indoor service, sure.
Only because we don't know what they're going to apply for, and it could change the outdoor, the indoor also.
Right, that's fine. Now, Mark Walsh is the general manager of Bread First, is here to answer any questions or to describe the service to anybody who would like.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm Mark Wall, General Manager of Bread First. So I'm used to saying welcome. How can I help it?
Does anyone have any questions at all?
No, I just have another question on this.
Okay.
I think it says the applicant shall manage and operate a bona fide bakery, restaurant, because that's what he's aiming for. That was in their ABRA filing. It said, and restaurant.
Bakery, restaurant, and restaurant?
No,
Or
this
bakery
just
and-
says this bona fide you have bona fide
For a
bakery.
bakery restaurant.
Yeah, it should be and restaurant.
Well, it's really just missing a comma after bakery. So it's
Or
bakery,
a-
restaurant, and sidewalk cafe.
Are you on the resolution?
Which
or
are we on?
On
I'm
the
sorry.
letter.
I'm on the voluntary agreement.
So paragraph
I was
1
on
of the
the letter,
voluntary
sorry.
agreement?
The applicant shall manage and operate a bona fide bakery, restaurant on its premises. It should be bakery and restaurant. Because do you have the filing you did with
Which-
ABRA?
which
what
clause are you
ABRA
in?
sent us?
Number one,
Read what
thank
it
you.
says.
Bakery dash restaurant.
Right.
It needs something.
In the application, it said, it described it as a bakery restaurant, but I'm fine with saying bakery and restaurant.
Yeah, I like what ABRA posted, because that's what the neighbors really see.
Bakery,
So just add a dash.
here it's a dash, okay. I
Just
just
add a dash.
Yeah, whatever.
Is dash okay?
dash works.
So you need to do that also in the resolution.
I will
The-
make that
the
change
letter.
everywhere it occurs.
Oh, yeah, the resolution.
Resolution has it too.
Does anyone else have questions?
Are we calling these settlement agreements now?
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
probably.
They're called settlement.
But you know what, you can send him in as voluntary,
They
and
just change it. Change it.
they just
I guess,
accept
here,
it.
change it to
I
settlement
think you ought to
agreement.
change it. They were very clear when I went to the.
They changed it, yeah.
Okay,
So
so
it
change
should
it
be
to settlement.
settlement.
agreement.
It used to be
Agreement.
voluntary.
And everybody's comfortable with what the plan is? Or is everyone comfortable with the plan?
I am comfortable. I'm supportive of this resolution. I look forward to visiting Bread First when its license is in place.
Thank you very much.
I'm not supportive of starting alcohol sales at 12 noon. I think it really should start when the place opens.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
I agree,
but-
because the Bloody Marys and mimosas. and-
Exactly. I mean, I don't want to start brunch at noon.
Bailey's in my car.
I hate to disagree with anyone on the ANC. So thank you very
But I'll
much.
vote for it
Thank you.
for now.
I think they have to just amend the application they send to ABRA.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Let me also just note for the record that we did reach out to the building next door.
The Hastings?
And the Hastings, and Mark Furstenberg sent a letter that we distributed throughout the building. And the comments that were received in response to that outreach were all universally positive.
I'm more curious about the fact that you're bringing in a great chef, Frank Ruda.
Had a great meeting with him today. Don't know where we're going with it. Don't know how long it's going to last, but we're really excited to have Mark and Frank talking food at one table. Pardon my French, but it was exciting. But we're taking September 11th, one launch date, September 12th. We regroup and figure out one day 2 days. Because of our small space, we have to.
Well, I think you're going to have seatings or something, because you're
We're
going to
going
have
to
to.
try and pull in the patio seating inside. We'll close down the inside, of course. And we have to make it work within that space. And we're just, one thing at a time. All within that space and keeping that space special.
While we're here, let me ask you one more question. You filed an application with Public Space for the umbrellas
Yes.
and for the overheight fence, or overheight awning, whatever it was called, for the 9-foot planting. Did you hear anything, or have you had a schedule before Public Space? Because it seems like a long time.
It's all up, it's all in, I think everything's been approved. So I don't know of any formal,
Because there hasn't been a hearing. That's why I'm asking.
It hasn't?
No.
It hasn't gone to public space?
No,
It's gone to public space.
it did when?
I think it was
we have
approved.
all permit.
I thought it was a couple of a month ago.
No, I'm talking about the second application, the one that we passed a resolution on in June for the umbrellas and stuff.
Yeah, then
I don't think it went to a hearing.
we'll have to check.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't, because I looked at the July and the August schedule.
It's
That
definitely
wasn't
not
on
on
it.
September, because I looked at September. I mean, she's put out.
I know. But we passed the thing in June, and it wasn't on the July or
So
August.
we'll check that.
Yeah. I'm just curious as to what happened, and why it's not being scheduled.
We'll check that.
Okay. Does anyone in the audience have any concerns with this? Okay. Let's vote on this. So is there so what was your motion to approve?
Motion to approve the voluntary agreement as amended by the various friendly amendments and the resolution.
Well, one of the amendments is
Settlement
making a
agreement.
Right. the Settlement
Settlement
agreement, that's
agreement.
right. But that was one of the amendments, that wasn't the. And then, do we need to approve this? as a-
The letter,
Yeah,
we should
the letter.
approve everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So letter for, what is it? Stipulated.
Just be sure you go back and change all the dashes and all the, where it says voluntary, because you've got it quite a few places. Okay.
All right, is there a second on the motion to approve the letter, the stipulated license, and the bond settlement agreement,
And the resolution.
and the resolution? All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All right, passes 6-0-0.
Just out of curiosity, do we need to say stipulated and CR liquor license? Because the stipulated only goes for a certain amount of time.
Nah, because we're signing.
I'm just asking.
No, I think it's fine, because
Okay.
this will cover it later.
Okay.
I think it's fine, it's
Okay.
fine, it's fine.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Congrats. Next up is a resolution to request an extension of the Clean Team coverage from Van Ness to Chevy Chase Circle. Manoli?
Do we have a copy of this?
Yeah,
Gave me copies.
I
Okay.
should have given it to you.
So, a couple months ago, we had a presentation by the Clean Team, which is a part of the Department of Small and Local Business Development, the DSLB, the DSLBD. And following up on that, I sent the guy who came a note saying, what would it take to extend further up? And this was also a conversation with a couple other people about bids and micro bids and so forth. And one of the suggestions was to reach out to the Clean Team. So I did reach out to the Clean Team, and then they put me in touch with their project manager at the DSLBD, who I believe I reported in the last meeting, had come back and said, yeah, we looked at it, we have funding for 15, and we'll be able to extend as far north as Chevy Chase Circle. Came here and said, fantastic, this is great news. I think maybe 2 days later, before I even got a chance to tell 34G, I got a note saying, sorry, we looked at it again, we've changed our mind. We can't do 15. And I pursued it a little bit, but I didn't get a particularly good response as to why they hadn't. It was just something fairly blasé about budget constraints. So there had been something that had changed in those few days. They either miscalculated, which was a reasonable answer, but I wasn't receiving that. So at the very least, so I'm proposing to, my motion will be to adopt a resolution requesting the extension of the Clean Team North of Van Ness Street to extend service to Chevy Chase Circle. The Clean Team does things that a bid would normally do, a business investment district would do, removal of litter and graffiti, snow and ice clearance, recycling collection, tree maintenance, planters, and they'll track 311 requests if you let them know that you put one in. It's effectively a service to small businesses and other businesses, big businesses, I suppose, and residents in the business who are near the business districts that are not really concentrated enough to really be able to form a business investment district. So there's 20 some odd different parts of the city that the Clean Team covers. This, as far up here, is not one of them now. So I'm asking for them to, what am I asking them to? So that the resolution would be that we ask that they extend services in the fiscal year 2015, and to request funds in FY16. I'm going to pursue this to try to get an answer about what happened in 15. I don't think there's anything nefarious. I think they maybe just made a mistake. It would just be good to have an explanation about what actually happened. And the people I've been in touch with have actually, up to that point, were fairly helpful. I say helpful in so much as they said, yeah, sure, we'll do it, and less helpful after they said, no, we changed our mind. So my motion is for us to send this resolution to the DSLBD.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, second by Karen. Is there any questions or discussion? We can start with Bob and work our way down if anyone has anything. I have nothing.
I just have one typo, not typo, I think a word needs to be added in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th whereas down, whereas the businesses and residents, no, excuse me, it's the 6th one. Whereas clean teams provide much needed services, I think it should have the word to business districts.
Okay, that's fine. And I also noticed that there's a missing and in the penultimate clause as well.
Okay.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Does anyone from the audience have anything? Okay. So all in favor of this as modified by Karen's edits, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
My edit and the Noli's.
And Millie's edit. Passes 6-0-0. So next up, keep it on Manoli. He is making a motion to spend $4,000 to make a targeted mailer notifying ANC 3F residents of services for seniors on offer from district and area nonprofits. So, Manoli?
Yes, so the idea is so my motion is to do just that, authorize $4,000 for a targeted mailer notifying ANC 3F residents of services for seniors on offers from the district and area nonprofits.
Okay, wait a minute. So this is the wording of your motion. I want to be precise. Motion to spend $4,000 to make a targeted mailer notifying ANC 3F residents of services for seniors on offer from the district and area nonprofits.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. Yes, got it. Yes, that is my motion, word for word. So the idea would be, so obviously, full disclosure, I have every intention to be a senior someday, and I am looking forward to, as a lot of seniors are these days, to stay in their home as much as possible. There's wonderful places like, I'm sorry, what is it called now? Forest Hills of DC. And other area residences for seniors. But there's in discussion with a couple nonprofits in the area, with Iona, with UDC, there's a number of activities. There's the calendar that there's a calendar of activities at the Chevy Chase Community Center, but really be focusing on people in 3F, letting them know about things that are available from the Office of Aging, the exercise classes at UDC that are geared towards seniors, probably Iona and some of the services that are available through Iona, and also Northwest Neighbors Village. So it would be targeted using mail service that can identify demographic groups, and it ends up being about, my understanding, that it'd be probably about $700 or so for the actual mailer. Probably could do a little bit better than that, and then the balance is largely the postage, printing and postage. I think I'd probably do better than $4,000, but I want to make sure.
Okay.
Better, you mean more, or you
Less.
mean it'll probably be less?
Probably be less.
Okay. We always want to make sure that there's enough approved so that we're covering any overage. We don't want to be right down the line.
Okay. Is there a second for this?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion from anyone?
Is this just going to be through the mail, or is it also, could it also be electronic?
Oh, we can send it electronic, but this idea is that it would be through the mail. I think my understanding is that there's still enough concentration of seniors who are not using the internet that it would be best for it to go via mail. There's also an opportunity to announce the website as well,
And for grants.
and then make a mention of grants.
Did you have that postcard?
That postcard was for hand delivered,
Okay.
that was not to be mailed out. There's no really place to put an address.
I was just gonna
like
say,
that,
there's
so
nowhere for addresses and stuff.
It was more for handout. I still hand it out to people. We
Well,
got some.
this
But
could include it.
It could be dropped into the mail.
Yeah.
it could be dropped in, yeah, the link. But also, if it makes sense, it would be, and the timing is right, we could put something about the website as well. And maybe a list of additional services that are available through the website.
I have a couple of questions too.
Mhm.
When you get to me, are you done?
Yes.
How does this differ from the grant that the auditor said we couldn't do to Northwest Neighbors Village?
This is not a grant.
I understand that, but I also have a ruling here from the Attorney General saying that ANCs cannot circumvent grants by doing donations or other things, that we have to only do certain things,
This covers a whole range of
but not
services,
necessarily agencies in our own single-member district.
but it's not going to, it's only going to seniors in ANC 3F, and it's for their benefit, not for the benefit of a particular agency.
Who's
And
going
that
to-
was the
but
problem that
who's
we
going to
had.
produce this grant?
I'm going to.
It's not a grant.
I mean, who's going to produce this brochure
My
and print it?
my plan was.
I mean,
Well,
Ryan
his plan
produced-
was to do it myself, circulate it to the commission. Ideally, our administrative person would handle a lot of the details if they're in place by the time if they're in place soon.
And then I think my other question is, who's going to develop this mailing list?
There's a service that you can get identified by zip and then narrow it down by street, and they're able to, through magic of marketing, figure out demographics on age and income levels and so forth. All we would be using as a selector would be age.
And you can do all of this for less than 4,000?
That's my understanding. That So my quick bit of research I did was it is possible, and the printing. There's no variety of places. The same place that I used for the postcard, the grant postcards. I think I spent like $60 on those, something like that. It was like
It was like
500 for
less than 100, yeah.
for.
Well, I'm just saying a brochure is a little bit more intense than the postcard.
Yeah, but it's still for the numbers we're talking about. It's no, I'm not concerned about the cost drive being driven up above that.
Okay.
And if it is, we'll come back and I'll
So
ask
how
for
many
another.
how many are we thinking?
How many?
Are you thinking?
The number I've got is about 3,000, but again, I'm getting estimates.
It
on
also
that.
could come off the voters list too, possibly.
That's a little bit harder to determine.
Yeah.
You have to start making estimations based on how long somebody's been on the rolls and things like that. It's not.
Are you making enough that we could hand out at the ANC?
I
meeting?
can do that. I can do that.
Let's see what the numbers will look like before we,
Sure.
Or through the vision committee?
Anybody who
How
wants.
big is this gonna be?
I'm sorry?
How big?
How big what?
So
The
a
brochure.
little postcard?
I was thinking
Yeah,
like a
Fold
folded,
sheet?
A trifold?
yeah, not necessarily trifold, but
Just like this.
8.5
8.5
by
by
11
11
folded over, yeah, like trifold.
Okay, you're thinking of an 8.5 by 11 photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you gonna try to do it by?
Ideally by the time the next meeting. Although if the next person is on, we'll wait an extra month, but my goal is to be done in the next month.
Are you concerned that it's gonna get mixed up with election junk?
I can wait a month, that's no problem. If you think it'd be opportune to.
You mean with the November
Procrastination.
Just
4th?
in another couple of weeks, we're gonna get 45
That's fine.
Canyon
I can wait.
mailers a day.
Yeah, I know.
And everyone's just gonna take them all and chuck them and never see it.
I'm all- I don't know
I just
about-
don't wanna waste them.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Adam, but I'm getting phone calls already from the campaigns.
Oh, sure.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
will promise not to
Well,
do
that's a good
phone calls.
idea. That's an interesting, yeah.
Okay, I can wait till November.
And
But
then
I think
I
it's
guess
good-
my other question, like, what's driving this? Is there a concern from any of these groups that they don't have enough participants or things like that?
My concern is making sure that seniors are aware of the services that are on offer.
In our area.
Can I follow up on that? What makes you think they aren't? Because I know my building is getting stuff from the DC Office of Aging, not only on email, but we're getting flyers from them and postcards. We get stuff from Iona in our building. We've gotten stuff from Northwest Neighbors Village in our building. So I'm not sure why you think people aren't getting notices or know about these services.
Okay.
I guess that's just.
I think it's a benefit to receive things more than one time. And this is for a whole range of different services, not just the Office of Aging or UDC.
I know, I'm just saying where we're getting all of it.
But I think it's a very nice thing to be putting together.
Could we,
Call for a vote?
I mean, could we expand it to do just like a short newsletter or something?
Talk to him.
Like a periodic newsletter?
No, it could just be like what Eleanor Holmes Norton sends out once a quarter, or Mary.
Yeah, if you want to contribute something, you can expand it some. I think it kind of starts to dilute the message.
I would argue against doing that and maybe do a series of targeted mailers, maybe do 4 or 6 in a year, each one targeted at a specific demographic or a specific issue.
Now, the only concern I have is that by the time we print this and whatever, some of these exercise classes at UDC or Iona, they change their schedules. It's
Well,
having
I'll
to be
add-
current.
Yeah, I'll add the contact or the listing of the website where it's located, or something like that, as opposed to, next Thursday at 3
Yeah,
o'clock.
I don't think that.
Well,
should
it
have
can
that.
it can be
It should be
printed
these
shortly
are the co- these
before
are the
it's mailed,
places
so
to go.
that
That's
we
what
can have
I'm
up-to-date
saying.
information.
And I
That's really
think
not
we'll
an
look
issue.
for sort of evergreen type of activities, not ones that are sort of fly by night.
Before we do this,
Could we see a draft?
I was
of it
just going to say
before?
the same thing. Could we see a draft of what we're talking about
I
before
mean,
we
could you
vote money?
circulate it by email to us? Like,
Frankly, I didn't want to spend the time doing if it wasn't accepted, or if it wasn't passed.
no. I mean, if we pass it,
Oh, yeah,
can we
absolutely.
still get?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
This is a
okay.
collaborative team effort.
Right, okay. I don't think we meant not to do it if you,
No. Are there any audience comments? No.
Let's do this fast before Manali's daughter.
So, all right, so we'll vote on the motion. All in favor?
Advertise.
All in favor,
Before she needs the
say aye.
services.
Sorry, your daughter.
So
You have sons.
4, all opposed,
Abstain.
all abstain, 2.
Can we have a roll call vote just to be on the safe
No.
side? Yeah, Robert's rules allow it.
What do you need a roll call?
Just go for the roll call.
Fine.
She-
It's just good to just
Manoli,
3F05 votes aye.
3004, Sally Gresham votes aye.
3F02 abstains.
3F01 abstain.
3F06, aye.
3F07, yes.
Okay.
Summers.
Passes, thank you.
402.
Thank you,
Oh,
Manoli.
there is commissioner updates, we just kicked it in the
We
body.
already did this.
Can I ask for unanimous consent as well?
Next up, Bob, quarterly financial report.
Before you is a summary. This is the full document if anyone really wants to see it. It's basically all the receipts. We at the end of this, we had $140,004.90. Total expenses were $7,943.37. A lot of expenses were put off from the second fiscal year 2014 quarter because we didn't have signing authority, so we didn't write any checks then. So we kind of played catch up. On the positive side, the bank is no longer charging any fees at all, so we're in nice shape there. Not that it was a lot, but it was something.
Cool. Is there a motion to approve? I'll make a motion to approve the quarterly
I
report.
have a question. Is the Verizon Wireless, is that the Google?
It's the thing that puts it on the internet.
Oh, it's the
The little
internet.
box.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's 40.0 or $40.01 a month.
I forgot
for that.
it was the.
And I tried to get them to do an invoice for a year, and they can't do it. So we have to keep doing it monthly, but it's every other month the way it's working out.
When was the period that you didn't have signing authority?
January 1st through till when you were elected.
And sworn in.
And sworn in, well,
Okay.
till you were actually elected as secretary and could sign things. So the first 5 months of this year were effectively check-free.
All right, so motion to approve the financial reports, or second?
I'll second it.
Karen, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Passes 6-0-0. Bob, do you have a separate financial update?
Yes, given the checks that haven't cleared in the latest financial bank statement, we have $135,076.04.
Okay.
Davis, that's 135,076.04. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Are we winning?
Last but not least, June 2014 meeting minutes, so I'll make a motion to approve those. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so discussion.
In the July minutes,
We're doing
I
June or
know, wait a
July?
minute, I'm getting to it.
Okay.
But in the July minutes, we did make the motion, and you talked, even though it didn't pass, it was put into the minutes. And I'm talking about number 11, it was on a resolution. The June minutes do not contain the motion, and it should be in them, of the motion Commissioner Manoli made. Even though it didn't pass, it should still be in the minutes. In July's minutes, we did stuff, but we didn't do it in June. And
No,
I really
don't
think it
we
needs to
have
be in there.
We don't.
Did it,
But if
was it
it's-
voted down, or was it, didn't, or it wasn't?
I don't remember. what we're
Difference
talking
is,
about.
what
I don't
you're referring
remember.
to in these minutes was a motion that was seconded, voted on, and failed. In June, the motion was made, wasn't seconded, and was never voted on.
I believe it was.
Then
I'm gonna
you
go
have to
back.
find, if you can find that on the video and give me the citation, you can put it in. But
June?
In June.
In June, she's
What-
talking about where
what was
we
it?
talked about the
There was a
Forest Hills
motion on the Forest
playground.
Hills playground. There was a motion made on the Forest Hills playground with wording that should be, and according to Commission, I didn't go back to the, I couldn't get out of my apartment today to go up to the computer. They were painting our hallway. Anyway, according to what Malachi said, you made the motion. I don't remember you making the motion, but I couldn't get upstairs today to look. They had a seal to our
Manoli did make
apartments.
them, well, he,
How about the playground?
yeah.
I sent this exact wording. I did go back to the video, and I sent everybody the exact wording of Manoli's motion. And if you can find anyone seconding that motion.
No, I have to go up and look.
voting
I
on
have
it.
to be honest, they sealed us in our apartments today because they're painting our hallway.
Okay,
We
well,
talked around it, and then Adam said,
Oh, is this about the grant?
yes, the
Right.
Forest Hills
Oh, yeah,
playground.
the
And actually, you wrote a lot about it, back to Karen.
grant, a motion to waive the waiting period?
No,
Oh,
No.
okay, I don't remember.
No,
it was a
no,
motion
there
to
was no
define what
waiting
it-
period.
what,
There is a waiting period in the guidelines, kind of bogus, but it's there.
no, what Manoli's
No.
talking about is that we hear it 1 month, we vote on it the next. That's the waiting period he's talking about.
Okay.
But that was not
But
part
that
of
was
this.
not what we're talking about, Manoli. It's
Oh.
where,
It was the
who
wording
was
that.
going to look further with the general counsel. How we were
I
going
thought we
to deal
went
with.
through all this.
We did. We've gone through it
May,
twice.
June.
But it was.
I went on a bit of a tirade that it was all kind of.
So here, look, let's
buffoonery.
let's
It
vote
wasn't
on
your
let's
turn.
vote
Where do
on
we
it.
stand
Let's
with
vote
that?
on it as is, and if someone finds it, we can always open it back up and re-vote on it next meeting
Okay.
if it's an
Call
issue.
for the question.
So let's just approve these. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
5. All opposed?
I'm not opposed, I'm abstaining.
0.
July 5.
All abstain. Raise your hand. Abstaining.
Raise your hand.
We get a roll call.
You want a roll call?
No.
All right.
Could we
I
have an
just am
update on
concerned
that,
about the other
on
things,
where
Brad,
we
that's
are
why I'm
with any of the
abstaining.
I don't
grant
have it
questions?
updated.
Based on
I
this.
spent so much time going through, I can't find what you're looking for, but if you can find it,
You
I'm
guys
happy
can
to
check.
put
I
it.
don't think it was what
Offline.
Manoli said.
All right, so I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All
All
right.
right. Good night.
Oh, record time.
Website.
Joe.
I have not had time to continue.